Welcome back to another episode of Tractor Roy. My name is Trent. Today I got this 1940 Farmall A in the shop. So I think what I'm going to do with this video is just bring you along with me working on it. I'm probably not going to explain as much as I have in past videos because I kind of just want to get this done. We'll see how this goes. We'll see if we want to keep doing it this way or go back to the old way of doing it. So I've got the short block already assembled. I got the oil pump in there. We broke that oil pump off, so I had to get I had a replacement up on the shelf, but we had to throw a different one in. I've got my pistons back in. We are reusing the pistons. We honed the cylinders out, freed up the rings, everything. It didn't look like this thing had been run much. It looked like it had just been parked and sat for decades. So we're going to go ahead and slap that head gasket on, slap the head on, torque everything down, and then we'll just keep going from there. Watch the fingers. Okay, we'll go ahead and torque this bad boy down. Wow, this only has 3 studs per cylinder. Huh, not a whole lot of compression in these things, really. Go. Okay, I verified that my number 1 piston is at top dead center. Number 1 on the magneto is right here, where my finger is pointing. So I just made sure that my rotor was in the correct orientation, because you can have this with that tang, you can stick it in either way. So it's possible to put this 180 out, which isn't a huge deal as long as you remember. Then you can just put number 1 over here instead of up here like it's supposed to be. But we're here. I'm going to throw this on. It should be in our way, or I'll worry about timing it a little later. our freshly refurbished distributors in there, and I'll cheat a little bit. I did have this thing running using the alligator clip, little temporary wire going from there straight to the coil. It worked, but then that coil got too hot and shut off because this is 12 volt. So to remedy that, we got a 6 volt resistor in there to knock it down to, well, a ballast resistor to knock it down to 6 volt going to the coil. We'll see if we can't fire this thing up again. So, like I said, it did run. We were able to move it under its own power. It was just not acting right. And I do believe it's because that coil was overheating. So now we got to go through the whole process. We got our temporary power wire hooked up. We've got gas turned on. I don't know that we need this, but we might. So we're out of gear. We got the choke on. We're at about half throttle. Let's try it without ether first. Clear prop. I think we still got some stuff to work with here that we'll need. Ooh, different starter too. There! Look at that! Well, let me tell you, that straight pipe that was on it was kind of obnoxious. So we snagged one off of one of the A's over there in the pile and drove this thing around a little bit. And it is pretty sweet. Needs a little bit of work. We still have that other, the original magneto I think we're going to throw on instead of that distributor. Just because it's cool, trying to keep it kind of original. I think my float is sticking, which kind of surprises me because I rebuilt that thing. So maybe I just didn't get that float adjustment set right. So we got that to do. As you can see, the wiring is ran. It's all on our braided loom there. We just got to do that. Terminate both ends so we can get our little dash panel in there. We got some headlights for either side, one for the back. The starter, the one that was on here, was goofy. One of the terminals was bad. So I threw one of my extra starters on there, but it's off of a C, so that needs replaced with with another A or B starter. But dang, not too bad. So I put a couple hours on this thing now. I got my cedar all fixed up, so I was planting my lawn over there. And this thing ran fantastically. I did have one issue. I won't say it's the engine because we didn't mess with this. My 1 to 2 shift fork broke, so I just robbed the shift tower off of one of my parts ones over there. But I don't have a knob on this. But other than that, the shift lever, this thing has ran fantastic. It'll just fire up like that every time now. I kind of like it. With that little bit of a cushion, it's pretty comfortable to drive. So as far as this episode goes, we're going to call it there. I know I did not work on this thing a whole lot on video. It was kind of just, you know, when the opportunity arose, we worked on it. And it turns out this thing was a lot easier than like that M. So didn't have a whole lot of time to film it. Still a couple other things. Like I said, the lights, finished the wiring. We might get a different manifold for that. I'm not sure. I'll probably have to dig back into the carburetor and figure out what's going on and tune it a little bit better. Get that other magneto fixed so we can get that thing installed. We're going to stick an alternator on there. We got a mini alternator, so it's significantly, actually. So that's the Delco 10SI alternator. We're going to stick on one of these little mini alternators off of like a Kubota or Toyota pickups, the old ones. It's a little bit smaller, so I think it'll fit on that thing a little better. So like I said, this is where we're going to end the video. Make sure to like and subscribe so you can keep following along on this kind of stuff. Throw a comment down below if there's something else you want to see. We're going to have more coming on this Maybe this year we'll paint it, but we might work on some of the other tractors before we get to painting this one. So thanks for sticking with me. Thanks for watching this episode of Tractor Roy, and I hope I'll catch you on the next one.